A very pleasant afternoon to all the seniors in the profession, chairman of the session, Hardik sir, and all of the student delegates over here. Hi, this is Abhay Tulsian from Manchester City of India, Coimbatore. I am here to present you a paper on XBRL. Before I start, I would like to begin with a small quote from Dhirubhai Ambani. Play on the frontiers of technology and stay ahead of tomorrows. Let me give you a small introduction about what is XBRL all about. Growth of internet and web technology has transformed the whole global business scenario. Digital technology today is the prime mover of the business. In the above phase of transformation into the digitization of accounting, XBRL is an effective tool for business reporting. XBRL, it's a buzzword in our professional fraternity. Why not? It must be, because Companies Bill 2011 has made it mandatory for specified class of companies to file their annual reports using XBRL. And as always, a new jargon, which was probably not heard before, was thrown to us to comply with. Now having understood what XBRL is all about, let us get into technical details regarding it. What is XBRL? It's just an abbreviation of Extensible Business Reporting Language. It's an open standard technology for electronic communication of business and financial information. It's a part of XML family, which is now generally used in our income tax department. And this kind of XML is specifically designed for business reporting. XBRL is the emerging global standard of financial reporting because it uses an open standard technology. It's a language for electronic communication. What's the history behind XBRL? Who was the person behind it? It was Sir Charles Hoffman in 1998, a CPA from US, first person to investigate the use of XBRL. What an idea, Sirji, isn't it? Later, XBRL was developed by a company called XBRL International, which was set up in US for the development of XBRL. Change. Change is one of the most difficult phase in our life. Do we need a change? Why do we need a change? These are the two questions everywhere we ask when we are supposed to change. Similarly, XBRL is also a change in our reporting styles. Do we need this change? Yes, we do need it. But why? Here's the answer. I'll give you. Today we can see our financial reporting models are manual. Today either the auditors or the reporting company manually process their data using the softwares and then later on give it to the regulators and the users of financial information. This is totally a manual process. But after the introduction of XBRL, it will not be so because it will automate the processing of business information. It will avoid manual entry of financial data. Thus way it will reduce the chances of handling financial data and reduce the chances of errors. The motto of XML says, I know what it means. You tell me how it should look. The concept behind XBRL is also same. You tell me how you want the presentation to be, because XBRL can present you information in the way you desire. XBRL also provides an easy comparison of financial data. The technology used in XBRL is similar to the technology used in barcodes. For example, you can take a Dove soap. When a barcode is assigned to a soap, the barcode for all the soaps of Dove would be the same, and when the barcode is shown to the machine, it will list out all the details. Similarly, when a financial tag, say net profit, is shown to the computer machine, it will list out net profits of all the companies in the database. It will not be an overstatement to say what barcoding has done for the product distribution, XBRL will do for business and financial reporting. What was the scenario before XBRL? It was something like this. Different report for different kind of users. But after the introduction of XBRL, what is it? XBRL is acting as a data center and providing the information in the required manner to the desired user. Now let's get a little technical. What is the technology behind XBRL? The technology behind XBRL is simple. Instead of treating financial information as a block of text, tags for each and individual items of data are used. Taxonomy, it's the backbone of XBRL. It is electronic dictionary of business concepts. Taxonomy is the basis for tagging financial information in XBRL. Instance document is another important concept in XBRL. It's the facts of entity which are represented in terms of XML. The creation of it involves two steps: mapping of items and validation of items. Taxonomies are made up of schema and linked bases. Schema is the dictionary of financial terms along with the XBRL, and linked bases are the interrelationships in the schema. This is how a taxonomy looks like. Everything on this earth comes with pros and cons. Similarly, XBRL also has pros and cons in it. XBRL can rightly be regarded as an asset to an organization because it's based upon XML language, which is a universally accepted language for sharing information. It has improved the corporate transparency and overall efficiency of the business. Business information can be reused and restructured with the help of XBRL. It has improved the analytical procedures, accuracy and traceability. Now coming to the points of drawback in XBRL. XBRL, people regard it extremely complicated to use it. It has increased the filing costs of all the organization. Early adoption of it has resulted in chaos in the world. Still, it is not been followed by all the companies. So there is a lack in consistency in the use of standards. It may also pose security risk to companies publicly reporting their information. XBRL is a myth. This is what I heard from people when I was working on XBRL. And to tell about XBRL, I have lots of sentiments attached with XBRL. The first assignment at my first and on my articleship was XBRL, give it to me. So I have lots of sentiment attached. Even I was the one to quote something like this: "Oh God, it's an accounting standard. I don't agree with this XBRL." This was the first thing I told when it was given to me. People also regard it as a computer program, a standard or a software, and it has a regulatory burden. People also quoted something like this: XBRL is extremely complicated and you need to be a CA to understand 50% of it. An XML programmer to understand 10% of it. What about the rest 40%? Anybody here? The 40% is history, it's not known to anybody else. XBRL doesn't change what is reported. It is changing only how we are reporting things. Now let's come to the point, where do we stand in the place of XBRL? Keeping pace with the worldwide trends, steps were taken in India to set up XBRL in India. The first step on the front of XBRL was taken by the ICAI in 2007, where it signed a MOU with AICPA US to develop XBRL in India. Later on, taxonomies in India were developed, and a company under Section 25, namely XBRL India, was set up for the adoption and encouragement of XBRL in India and to represent India in international world. A landmark step was taken in the year 2011 when the reporting style for the few companies were changed by the MCA. The companies were affected by this mandate, and the companies covered under these mandates were all the listed companies and their Indian subsidiaries. Companies with a paid-up capital of 5 crores or more, or companies with a turnover of 100 crores or more. However, banking, NBFC, insurance and power sector companies were excluded from it. What's the process of filing XBRL in India? Here it is. It's a simple process. Once when the audited financial informations are ready, the very first step is to tag them map them in the XBRL template. The XBRL template is generally provided by the software. After mapping each and every item of the financial audited reports, an instance document has to be created, which is created in the software. It is generally an XML file. It can be the first step of the validation starts offline, where it is validated on the software from where it was generated. The next level of validation is on the online using the MCA's XBRL tool. MCA's XBRL tool. Once the successful pre-scrutiny is done on the XBRL tool, it has to be attached in the forms 23AC and ACA. Certification from a professional is also required on the same forms. Once the forms are certified by the professionals, they can be uploaded on the MCA portal. Here's a quick look. On how does the filing process comes out. Mapping of items, creation of instance document, validation of the instance document, pre-scrutiny on the MCS tool, final verification, post-verification, attachment, certification and submitting on the 23 ACA and ACA. What could be the role of professionals in XBRL filing? They can help out the companies with MCS regulatory environment, designing the extension taxonomies and certifying the XBRL financial statements. A thing always has some drawbacks in it and lacking in it. There can be further improvements in XBRL, like development of intelligent footnote taxonomy, mapping of taxonomy from one jurisdiction to another jurisdiction, development of taxonomy for risk assessment, and the main one, which would be most useful for us, use of XBRL in auditing. In the end, I would like to conclude saying XBRL is an emerging global standard of financial reporting. XBRL will change the way we communicate with our regulators in years to come. It's not an overstatement to say XBRL has caused a mini revolution in the domain of business and financial information. Thank you. I would like to thank Surat Branch of Vikasa for giving me this wonderful opportunity to present my views on XBRL. Thank you. Thank you for your patience listening.
Thank you, Abhay. So, here we end up our session as far as the paper presentation is concerned.